Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly review of The Chi. This is season 3, episode 2, and it was titled Bruford. Before I jump into this week's episode, I just want to clear up something from last week. At the bus stop, because they showed the previews of what the recap I gather from last week. So they show at the end a shoe and a jacket. They were not Keisha's. What was on the ground was a denim jacket and a flat heel. Remember, she was wearing like a flower printed shirt. She wasn't even, yeah, it was a shirt. It wasn't a jacket. So she was wearing a flower printed shirt and she was wearing heels. So the shoe and the jacket was not hers, but it kind of looked like it may have been hers, but it wasn't hers. But her phone, we definitely know that was her phone on the ground, all cracked up and stuff like that, but the clothes was not hers. So I just wanted to clear that up, because I did say that in the last review that was her clothes on the ground, but it wasn't. So anyway, with this week's episode, we see it opens up with Kevin. He's in Keisha's room. So he like looking around and stuff. And I guess he's trying to figure out like what's going on. Like, how can I find my sister? Because at this point, he looked like he got his book bag on and stuff like that. And he going to school. So it's Monday. And we know that she left Saturday, I want to say. She left Saturday and she was supposed to come back on Sunday or whatever. So she's been going a couple days now. So he looking around like, what's going on? So he goes, first he sees her purse on the mirror or whatever like that. So he goes in the purse, and as he's going in the purse, he has like a flashback. So in the flashback, it's him and Keisha in the back seat. Keisha and the mama, she driving. So Keisha, she on the phone talking to her girlfriend about the new Drake video and stuff like that. She chopping it up. Kevin fussing at the mama because she like, Ma, you eating up all the fries? You ain't even looking at who fries you putting. You just putting your hand in the bag and eating fries. You eating my fries? She like, no, I ain't eating your, these my fries. So they going back and forth. Keisha in the back, talking to her girlfriend, she pops a mint in her mouth from her purse. So Kevin sees this. He goes in her purse, or grabs her purse, goes in the bag. He's trying to get a mint, but he pulls out birth control. Of course, he don't know what it is. He popped one in his mouth. He like, oh, this is nasty. What is this? This some new crack? What's this? She like, give me that. So they tussling and stuff. Of course, all the commotion prompts the mama, and the mama like, what's going on back there? What y'all doing? He don't want to say nothing because he hiding behind his back. So the mama like, what you hiding? He don't want to say nothing. Keisha looking at him like, don't say nothing. Next thing we know, they pulled over. Kevin mouth looked like a damn chipmunk because he done stuffed so many french fries in his damn mouth. But in the back, through the rear windshield, the rear window, whatever, we see the mama fussing out Keisha about the birth control pills and stuff like that. Keisha get back in the car, she crying and stuff. She mad with Kevin, like, don't talk to me. You don't never got my back. Yada, yada, yada. So then we flash to the present, and I guess he done learned from that mistake when he dimed her out. So he hasn't told anybody that she missing or whatever. But he on the computer, he on Keisha's computer, he opened it up and he texts her friend Malaysia. And he's like, hey, this Kevin, have you seen my sister or whatever? And then we see like the 3 dots. Like she reading the message or she typing, but she might be deleting it or whatever like that. We don't see if she responds or not because somebody comes in the house. So he closes the laptop, puts it in his book bag, and then he run into his mama. Because she coming into Keisha's room. And she like, well, where Keisha? He was like, I don't know. Maybe she went for like an early run or something like that. She was like, she ain't come home last night. He was like, no, ma, she was home. Like, I don't know. Like, she all right, whatever. And she was like, if I find out y'all two got something up y'all sleeve or something like that, then he was like, no, it ain't nothing like that. Ain't nothing like that. And he darted on out the door. So the mama, she looking like, I don't believe him. And she trying to figure out, like, what's up or whatever. Then we see Emmett, child. Emmett, he got the platters and the trays and stuff like that. He going to this baby shower and stuff like that. And this girl with the most jiggly ass was like, oh, her booty is jiggly. I'm calling her jiggly butt. But it is Emmett's baby mama, or one of his baby mama's child, because he got a whole bunch of them. It's her cousin's baby shower or something like that. She like, Emmett, why you just now coming in here? You been late, like we've been waiting for the food and what like that. She started fussing at him and stuff. And then Jigglybutt, so Emmett's like, look, I'm trying to stop the food. I ain't got time to stop from you. He go in the back. Jigglybutt go back there with the baby, her and Emmett's son. They start fussing about feeding the baby some poppies or something like that. He like, why are you feeding them some poppies? She was like, I grew up on poppies. My mama grew up on poppies. He was like, yeah, I can tell. I said, oh, he wrong for that. He is wrong for that. So, she like, well, where the food at? Where the food at? He was like, the food coming. My assistant bring it. She like, your assistant? When you get an assistant and stuff? He was like, don't worry about all that. Like, I need y'all to go on up out of here or whatever. Get on up out of here. He was like, she was like, where you get money for an assistant or whatever? He tell the, cause then somebody started knocking at the door. She was like, who that? He was like, my assistant with the food. Like, come on, go. So, he like, tell your mama you gotta go to the bathroom so they can get out of there or whatever. So she jiggle her booty and get on up out of there. He opened up the back door, child. Why is fucking Postmates, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all them got food? I said, Emmett ain't shit. All of them got food from different places. So they had like fried chicken, barbecue, macaroni and cheese, corn on the cob. Cause the Jigglybutt was like, look, don't be doing us like you did them lesbians wedding or whatever like that. I heard that the chicken was dry, the candy yams ain't had no sugar in it. He was like, no, I got this. Child, you know he can't cook. So that's why he ordered from all them places. He brings the food out there or whatever. He was like, what they say, food ready something he said that was just disrespectful all the way around. But they was like, oh yeah, running over to the food. Why the cousin was like, oh yeah, thank you cousin, this so good. All right, now somebody make me a plate. I said, bitch, what, you just near the food? Oh, okay. Just because you pregnant don't mean you can't pick up a plate and make it yourself. But whatever. They was just like, all right, girl, I'll make what you want. Everything. Just give me a bed of everything. Child. They eating the food. This shit was so funny. They eating the food. Somebody like, oh yeah, I ain't have Johnny's chicken before in a long time. This is yes. Oh, this barbecue. Yes, you know this barbecue came from such and such. They is going in on the food, and he looking like the Jigglybutt like, really? He was like, what? That shit was so funny because he thought he was fooling somebody. Everybody knew where that food came from, and they knew it was not from Emmett or whatever. Next we see not Johnny, child, Ronnie. He digging in the trash for cans, so he homeless child. And I'm like, where's his grandma? Because wasn't he living with his grandma? I don't know, but I don't know what grandma made. I don't know if she done passed away and ain't nobody say nothing, or she done moved away, ain't nobody say nothing. But he homeless, so he digging in the trash can for some cans, and he turned them in for some money or whatever. The lady who collecting the cans and paying them, she flirting hardcore with Ronnie, talking about some so you keep doing all this, you making a lot of money, enough for me to go out on a date or whatever. He was like, nah, I'm alright. And she was like, what, you alright? What, Hennessy, what she say? She named all these drinks or whatever, child. He was like, well, nah, this ain't, you alright, you ain't my type, or some shit he was saying. And then he walked off or whatever. And she's talking about, I'm a real woman and whatnot. I said, girl, you know this man homeless. Oh, okay. Whatever, I guess they need love too. Anyway, we see Dre and Keisha and Kevin mama. I don't know why I can't remember her first name. Their mama. They go to the school. The mama, she worried to death or whatever. And Dre like, look, just let me do the talking. It's gonna be all right. Blah blah blah. And the mama like, well, I know she what she say? I know my daughter, she wouldn't miss a meal or something like that. She would go to school or whatever. So she thinking she in school. They get there, the principal like, yeah, she been missing a whole bunch of school and stuff like that. And they like, what? Why ain't nobody tell us or whatever? Here go this motherfucking principal talking about something. We got 4,000 students in the school. It's hard to keep track of each student. Don't the homeroom take attendance? And when the homeroom, a child is missing, they supposed to report that and send it to the damn tardy and absent person. Like, the fuck, child. I said, really? For the So she putting the blame on the mama, talking about some, because the mama was like, "Well, that's your job to tell us or whatever." She's talking about, "No, actually, it's your job to send your child to school or whatever." I said, "Oh no, she didn't." And so she was like, "Well," because the mama was like, "She been missing for 2 days. I'm worried and stuff like that, and keep an eye out or something." And she was like, "Well, when she what she say? She hasn't been seen since Sunday." And what the hell did she say? Oh, she was like, and what if she don't come up? Because the principal was like, well, I'm sure she'll turn up or whatever like that. And she was like, what if she don't turn up? Who's the blame? Us or you or whatever like that. And the principal, well, let's just try to remain positive. I was like, bitch, don't try to be nice now after you was all nasty and whatnot. Oh, she was irritating. So the mama, she knows something wrong. Her and Dre leave or whatever. We see Kevin, he across the street on his bike behind a tree. He sees them coming out to school to drain them like, you stay positive, stay positive. Kevin hiding behind the tree until they pass. Then he go up to the school letting out at the same time. He wanted to talk to Malaysia in person. Cause he like, yo, why you didn't shoot, what did he say? Oh, he said, I'm sorry, y'all. He said, why didn't you return my text message or whatever like that? And she was like, what? You ain't my man. Like, I ain't got to return no text message to you or whatever. He was like, look, I'm just trying to find my sister. Have you seen my sister like that? She was like, look, Keisha be flaking. She ain't returned my text messages. She ain't do this and all this other stuff. And he was like, oh, so you ain't heard from her or whatever. And she was like, no, I ain't heard from her, but it's okay because Keisha's be flaky or some shit. He was like, you mean Keisha? She was like, no, I mean Keisha's, because every Keisha I know is unreliable. I started cracking up. But anyway, she was like, because he was like, well, you know her boyfriend name or so, you got his number. Why would I have her man number in my phone? Well, you know where he live at, you know where he stay. Look, I know she's talking to some guy named Nuke, okay? But don't tell her I told you, all right? And so he got the information that he needed, and then he go off on, ride off his bike or whatever. Then we back to the baby shower. Jiggly, but she was like, buying that food was shady as shit. He was like shady or smart. She was like shady. But she still paid him because he did his job. He fed the people and they was happy. So she still paid him. Then the cousin, because they had like the little gender reveal or whatever, they pop all the balloons, child. Pink and blue confetti popped out. At first it was a lot more blue, but then there was like a couple remnants of pink or whatever. And she was like, well, what do that mean? Like, I'm having a boy or a girl. And they was like, you having twins, girl? She was like, oh my God, now I got 4 kids. I was cracking up. That shit was funny. Next we see Duga, right? Or Duda. Is it Duda? Duda, whatever. He having some meeting with his big henchman and stuff like that. Jake walks in. He accidentally dropped his basketball or whatever. And then Duda was like schooling him on, walking in there with his shoes on. Talking about, you don't know the rules in this house or whatever. Did you forget the rules? And he was real nasty about it. And I was confused because I was like, but you and your friend got y'all shoes on. You got hard shoes onto the hardwood floors. He coming in there with sneakers. Your shoes will hurt the floors worse than his goddamn sneakers. So I didn't really understand that part. If he was barefoot and his friend was barefoot, then okay. But they both had shoes on. So why are you coming at Jake neck like that? I ain't like that shit. And then he gonna tell him to take his effing sneakers off and all this other shit. Because at first he was like, well, you can get up out of here or something. And he was like, no, I'm happy here or some shit like that. And then Duda wanted to tell him like, well, your brother Trey, no. He was like, you remember Trig or some shit like that. He was like, he did and stuff. So he was like, no, I don't think he did no more. He was like, well, he did to me. And so Duda, he was smiling or whatever. I was just like, really? He annoys. But that's when he was all like, well, you need to take your effing shoes off or whatever. Because he was just, dude, he was doing too much for me. Anyway, we see Trig. He in the kitchen. Imani cutting his hair or something like that. She was like, you like that, daddy? And he was like, I like everything that you do. And then they start tonguing each other down and stuff like that. He's talking about he want to set up shop in that area or whatever. But he don't want to set up roots because he was saying like Chicago, just be bad for him and stuff like that. And then she was like, well, what's the problem? Like, what's going on? Have you talked to your brother yet? And he was like, no, I ain't talked to him. I don't know what to say and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, what's going on? Because he started walking away. She was just like, he was like, I'm just trying to take the damn trash out. Damn. So she takes the trash bag and threw that shit out the window. She was like, now talk. So they started talking. He started telling about the story about, what happened with his dad and stuff. He said his dad used to work for the mayor's office, cleaning toilets and stuff. And what happened, child? His hands was rough and ashy and stuff like that, and he used to come home and see his dad's hands, and his dad was doing, real well. And then he was saying, like, the projects, like, where they were living, then got not tore down, but I guess they got kicked out of the projects that they were in, and they were given empty promises on the city building condos and all these luxury condos and stuff like that, which they never did. And well, I don't know, I don't live in Chicago, but that's what he was saying. He was saying they never, did this thing. So the daddy went to complain to the mayor, and then they fired him. So, because, he worked for the mayor's office, so it's like they didn't really want him complaining. So he got fired. He tried to look for another job. He couldn't find another job or nothing like that, so he just ended up leaving. The mama, she got all depressed and stuff like that, and then so she started hanging with drug dealers. They started feeding her drugs, and then we know the mama is an addict or whatever. So then he was saying, like, he was sticking around. He was trying to stick around or whatever like that, but he had one foot in the door and one foot out the door, and he pretty much took the exit out. And he was just kind of upset because he was saying, like, he could have been there for Jake and whatnot. So he really trying to rewrite history and try to get Jake up out of the situation, get out of Chicago, go to a better house, better living and stuff like that. Show him that there's more things out there than his little circle that he's in right now. So Imani was just basically like, you need to go see him and stuff. And he was like, yeah, I don't know, I might or whatever. And then next thing she was talking about, well, I'm getting dressed because you finna take me out. Then we see Ronnie. He at his favorite place to bar, child. His bar friends questioning him like, where are you coming from? You look like you got a good job, like a good government job or whatever. And he was like, nah. And they was like, where you coming from? Because you smell like cologne and hair grease. I said, this man ain't got no hair. But he was like, nah, I'm just come chilling and stuff. So then he gets his drink and stuff. And they was like, you in the cult? And he was like, nah, I ain't in no cult. And the guy was like, yeah, that's what my brother said, but he in the cult and whatever. So they just, they was just kind of, how they do in the bar. They be just going at it or whatever. Not like fussing, but y'all know how they be doing, them three. But anyway, we see Jada, Emmett's mama. She out speed dating. Child, the host, I was like, if she don't get down and just start the damn thing. But she remind them ain't no refunds, pretty much. The first guy, he's just staring at Jada after they introduced and stuff like that. And then she just was putting her foot all in her mouth the entire night. He was saying, like, he like cats. She like, well, I don't really like cats. They just useless creatures. And, they just sit there and they don't protect the house. And, back in the day, Egyptians used to kill them. I said, girl, you don't say that to no goddamn cat person. I'd have got up and left. Okay? Because, I'm a cat mama. But the next guy, he was all into her and stuff, and then she was like, yeah, because my grandkids. He was like, so you a grandma. So then she messed that one up. And then the third guy, he sat down, and it looked like it was going well. And then she asked this man, what part of Asia is he from? I said, Jesus. He was like, I'm from Lincoln Park. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, what part of the country are your parents from? He was like, they're from Lincoln Park as well. I said, girl, just stop. She failed big time. Okay. So then we see Ronnie again. His friends, they end up dropping him off in the truck and stuff. And then we see like this old abandoned tunnel, I guess. And it's like homeless row. So it's like where all the homeless people are in that area of Chicago. That's where they all sleep and stuff like that. And every city has an area where it's like a lot of homeless people gather and they have like their tents set up and stuff like that. Some people, is it LA? They call it Tent City. And I don't know where ours is. I haven't seen it. I know in DC it's around like the park and stuff. But in Chicago here, thing. It's in this like tunnel. So they driving through the tunnel and they was like, man, you homeless? Like, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm homeless and stuff. And they was like, you don't got to live like this, man. You ain't got to live like this. And he was saying, well, you know, they respect me and stuff here. They respect me. And so they was like, but you can stay with either, because one guy, you know, the chocolatey guy, he was like, you can stay with me or whatever. And then a light-skinned guy was like, no, you can stay with me too. So then he was like, well, yeah, see, we can go one day, you can stay, like, we can swap, like, come on, man, you ain't got to stay like this. And he was like, well, I'm happy here, I'm happy. And so then they pull his cart off the back of the truck. And I was just like, he walking around with a whole shopping cart. Y'all done put the shopping cart in the back of the pickup. Y'all ain't put 2 and 2 together that the man was homeless. Like, what? So anyway, he started walking down the tunnel and they like, hey, Ronnie, you want to come over for such and such? Hey, Ronnie, you want to play dominoes? We playing craps later on. Hey, Ronnie. I said, what? So he is the talk of the little homeless road. They love them some Ronnie. So the guys was looking like, what? Okay. And then next we see the baby mama. What is that girl name? Emmett's baby mama, the one he living with right now. Cause I got to clear that up because he got so many of them. But the one he living with, I haven't rewatched season 2 yet, but it was in my comments that she was pregnant, and then I was reading some other stuff, and it was like she was pregnant, and I was just like, I remember her being pregnant. I know she's only got the one baby in there. So where did she lose the baby or something? Because she sure do be getting high. Because she was in this episode, she was trying to light up, but the Emma's mom, Jada, knocked on the door or whatever, so she didn't get a chance to light up. And Jada was like, where Emmett at? She was like, well, he not here. So she was like, all right, good, because I came to talk to you anyway. So she had some food or whatever. And she was like, I brought you some food. And she was like, girl, I did that speed dating thing and I failed. It was horrible. She was like, what you mean it was horrible? She was like, it was not for me. I was flirting and all this stuff. She was like, girl, all you had to do was flirt and not tell them how many grandkids you had. So I was like, well, she fucked that up. But they was just talking. And so she was like, girl, what you need, this is Emma baby mama. She was like, what you need to do is get your back blown out. Here you go, Jada. That sounds painful. She was like, yeah, but in a good way. And so she pulled out this card and gives it to her. And it says Suede on there. So she was like, call him up. He massages shit or whatever. She was like, what? They turn up the food good or whatever. Emmett walk in and, he was like, mama, what you doing here or whatever? You just popping up. She was like, your mama can pop up. Don't worry about all that. So then Jada finally leave or whatever. Emmett, he like, well, where does food come from? She was like, oh yeah, your mama brought me some food. He was like, what about me? So then the baby mama put some food in his mouth. The food must be good because he like, oh my God, who made this food or whatever? She was like, because he was like, well, who made this or whatever? She was like, some girl. What girl? What's her number? She was like, why you want a bitch number? He was like, because I can call her up to hire her to make the food and stuff. She was like, oh, okay, that's smart. I said, girl, calm down. He gonna cheat. You can't do nothing about that. So he was saying something like, she said something like, you smart baby and something like that, because they getting along well or whatever, because y'all know they had some rough patches. So he was like, words of affirmation is my love language, and she was like, physical touch is mine. I was like, oh, that's so cute. But they started going at it and stuff like that. The baby started crying, child. He's trying to ignore the baby. She like, God damn, can you get the baby a juice box or something? I was cracking because I'm like, you gonna really keep going and this baby crying? I said, Emmett, stop. That was that. Let me see. Oh, so then we see at the house, the cops at Kevin and Keisha house or whatever like that. The mama talking to him, one lady, is a police officer lady, a woman officer. I don't know why I just said, whatever. But anyway, she taking a report and stuff. And so the mom is like, she been gone for 2 days, whatever. And so the cop, she turned to Kevin and she was like, well, when was the last time you saw your sister? And he like, well, I don't know. I can't really remember. And they was like, look, this is not a game. When is the last time you saw her? So then he finally says, like, I last saw her on Sunday night or whatever. Yeah, Sunday night she went to a party and something. The mama, like, pissed off, child. And so she went, no, he was like, she went to her party with her boyfriend or something. He'll go to cop. Oh yeah, that really happens, because that happened to my daughter and stuff like that. And she was like, but that's not my child. Like, I know my child. She would have came back, she would have said something or whatever. The cop ain't really taking it seriously. The mama like, well, I want to file a missing report. And she was like, well, to each his own or some shit. She said, I said, oh, so she's not taking it seriously. They don't really never take it seriously. And I don't understand that whole rule. You gotta wait 24 hours, because in some cases you wait 24 hours, the person is dead. Like, it's so stupid. But anyway, they like, look, where's her laptop? Because the cop leave. The mama like, give me her laptop. He pulls out his book bag. The mama like, just go. I don't even want to talk to you. Just go to school. Like, go. I'll talk to you when you get back home. Dre and the mama look on there to find your location, to look up where Keisha's phone is pinging from or whatever like that. We see Kevin. He goes to Jake's house and he like, yo, why you ain't, hit me back or whatever? I've been messaging you. He was like, yeah, Judah, he took my phone. He talking about some go outside and play. I was like, dude, this ain't 1983 or whatever. I said, goodness. So what's his name? Kevin was asking Jake to ask Big Mike for Nuke's address or for the 63rd mob or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I guess I'll ask or whatever. Kevin is worried. He's scared that, something that happened to Keisha. He like, what if she did or whatever? And so Jake like, look, don't be worried and stuff. I know you worried or whatever like that, but she gonna be found. It's okay or whatever. Then we see dude that he's taking him to work. We see Emmett. He at this house. He knock on the door. Lala answer the door. But in this show, her name is Dominique. I think it was Dominique. And she like, who was you? Like, what did you do here for or whatever? He was like, I'm Emmett and stuff like that. I got your, I talked to you on the phone last night. She was like, who you talk to? You ain't talk to me. He was like, well, I just talked to you on the phone. Child, they going back and forth. She like, well, if you Emmett, then what about your dick? And she was like, what? She was like, yeah, because word around town is you got a big third leg, so go ahead and whip it out. He was like, you lucky I'm desperate. He whips it out, child. Apparently, the rumor is true, because she let him in the door, okay? She ain't want him in there because she got, like, this illegal restaurant in there. She got, like, maybe 4 or 5 tables in there, and there is a whole bunch of people in there eating. And, she takes him back to the kitchen, and she like, what you here for, and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I heard that your food was good. And he offering her a job. And she like, do it look like I need a job and stuff? He was like, well, look, when the health department comes shut your ass down, then you gonna be needing a job and stuff. So then she start whipping up something. Child, when he first walked in, he was looking at her big old ass. I said, Emmett, stay focused. So in the beginning, she was cutting up some peppers and stuff like that. It looked like she was braising the oxtails and stuff. So she was cooking up a little fierce meal and stuff. So he sit down, he eating the food, he moaning and groaning and all this other stuff. Sound like he about to nut. Because the food must be bomb or whatever. He offers, like I said, a job and stuff like that. And she was like, well, she was like, I don't do it for the money, I do it for the culture or whatever. And he was like, well, that's when he said, well, you're not going to be doing it when the health department comes shut you down. And he was like, look, it's going to be a 50-50 split. You can cook whatever you want. Yada, yada, yada. She was like, oh, okay, I can cook whatever I want. Okay, well, where this place at? So he was like, come alone at night. He gave her the address and blah, blah, blah. She was like, well, you going to leave without tasting my peach cobbler? He was like, your peach cobbler, child. He tasted the peach cobbler. Apparently that was good, because he was like, oh, God, you going to have me risk it all. I said, I love me some peach cobbler. And some banana bread. Ooh, child. Ooh, this quarantine need to hurry up and be over with. I need some food. Anyway, we see the kids at the pizza shop. Papa is, because Kevin is telling them all about the thing, and he was telling them, like, Jake was like, yeah, something about this guy Nuke, he live in a trap house, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we should go. It's unsafe, blah, blah, blah. Papa like, look, I think we should just pray for Keisha. He was like, look, all this praying. Like, we need to go check it out. See my sister there and stuff like that. Then one of the people was like, Jake, you got a visitor. Jake go in the back. It's I think I skipped the part. Did I skip a part? I sure did skip a part, y'all. My bad. Let me, cause I'm like, what? We ain't even see this. Okay, well, anyway, let me. I'm sorry, y'all. I skipped the whole part. But anyway, it's Trig. And Trig is like, you know, talking to him and stuff. And he was like, you remember me? So Jake did remember him. And he was like, he just ain't seen him in a long time. He don't really want to talk to him. Like, he real hesitant and stuff like that. And he seemed like he don't really want to talk to him. And then Trig tell him, like, look, you may not remember me, but I took you and your little friends to Six Flags every summer or every weekend or something like that. You couldn't get on the ride, but you was still, you know, trying to get on there. It looked like he touched Jake a little bit, because Jake was like, all right, man, like, whatever. He was like, well, look, if you want me to leave, I'll leave. Just say the word or whatever. He was like, no, you ain't got to leave. And he was like, oh, okay, because I got this house back in. So I said, calm down, damn, you just met the boy. And that's what Jake said. Jake was like, look, we just met. Baby steps, okay? Baby steps. He was like, oh, okay, you right. Baby steps, baby steps. And then Jake, he go back in. And then he tell Kevin, like, look, if you gonna go, we gonna go with you. We gonna ride out with you or whatever like that. Because I don't want you going there by yourself. So, Papa was like, I don't know, man. He was like, look, you gonna go. He was like, all right, man. But if it's a pit bull, I'm out or whatever. So let me pause right there, because I did skip a whole important part. I did. And I was just like, how they get in the car together? But anyway, earlier, let's rewind. We see Trig, because remember I said Imani was like, she going to take him out or whatever like that. We see Trig, he in the club. And I was like, this is like a gay bar. So he was in the club or whatever. And this guy, he's singing and stuff. And some dude started flirting with Trig. And he was like, no, man, I ain't interested in stuff like that. And so the guy, not taking no, he still go over there. And he was like, so you seeing somebody you in here or whatever? And he was like, look, man, I ain't like that, or some shit he said. And he was like, what you mean you ain't like that? And he was like, look, I'm just trying to have a drink in a bar. And so he was like, well, you know where you at? You in a gay bar or whatever. And so he was like, well, yeah, man, I ain't like that, or some shit. And so the guy, somehow Trig had pushed him or something. And then the guy started cussing him out. Like, look, I'm tired of y'all trade niggas coming up in here. Y'all be acting like y'all all high and mighty and stuff like that. But then next thing y'all know, y'all hands around your ankles, busting it wide open for us and stuff. And he just going in on him. Trig ain't liking what he's saying. So then he chokes the guy all up and like look like he's about to punch him and stuff. Imani come, she break it up, and she was just like, look, you can't be doing all that. You doing too much. You need to apologize to. And she was like, I don't know what your pronoun is. He was like, he, him, or whatever. And she was like, you need to apologize to him. And so Trig apologizes, and then he storms out. So then Imani go chase after him and stuff like that. And he was like, look, why would you take me in some gay bar or whatever like that? You know I ain't like that. I don't get down like that or whatever like that. And so she was like, well, I'm tired of being in the house. I don't want to be in the house because you scared what people going to say and stuff like that. He was like, I'm not afraid. What did he say? She was like, I need to be around my people. He was like, I'm your people. And she was like, no, you my person, but I need to be around my people or whatever like that. And he was like, you a woman. That's all I see when I look at you or whatever. And she was like, you can't love me and then hate them or whatever, because she's transgender and he's dating. And I don't know if she's like fully transgender, because they didn't mention any of that, but he feels some type of way, or I guess he don't want people to question him, his manhood. You know how they be, child. Just stupid. But she storms off and he just looking stupid in the face or whatever. So I did skip that part. And I don't even know, did I skip anything else? No. Okay. But let's fast forward, because I had wanted to make sure I had put everything in there. Y'all know I give like a detailed shit, and my shit be long as fuck. But y'all be holding on for me. But let me see. I gotta get my charger. All right, y'all. I'm sorry about that. My phone was like 4%, bitch. Hurry it up. So I wanted to get my charger before it shut down. Anyway, we see Jada. She getting rubbed down, child. So she on a masseuse table and stuff. And I guess he go to their house and stuff. So she on the table. He is rubbing her down, okay? He started rubbing on her butt. And he like, is that good? She was like, that is good. He was like, you sure? Because I can go deeper. And she like, what? So then he started massaging her butt cheeks and stuff. And she got a big old booty. And he like, next thing she sit up, she see that he is primed and ready to go. Okay, next thing we see, they bow chicky wow wowing, and she is writing this man down. They doing all different types of positions. I said, you better go, Jada, because you look like you needed it in your life. So, child, at the end, he was like, you don't even gotta leave me no tip, Miss Washington. And I'm giving you a discount or whatever. I said, oh Lord. So he leaves out of the hotel. I mean, not the hotel, child. He leaves out of the apartment. He come down. Emmett about to go up with the baby. He like, oh yeah, hey man, hey Emmett, what's going on? They start talking. Apparently they went to high school together, child. He was like, yeah, you a wild boy. He was like, yeah, man, but you know I got this business, stuff like that. And he's talking how he giving the people happy endings. He was like, you giving happy endings? Oh man, you living a life or whatever. He was like, yeah, man, you know. He was like, yeah, I just had a client up there on the second floor. He was like, oh, for real? He was like, wait a minute. My mama living on the second floor. He was like, what? He was like, what apartment building? Child. Next we see Sway running down the street because he's scared that Emmett gonna get him. Emmett like, come on, Mom, you can't be doing that shit. He Febrezing all the furniture, child. I was cracking up. I say, she was like, look, I am a grown ass woman. I said, I know that's right. Next we see Dre. She is at where Keisha's phone was last found or whatever. She goes into Homeless Row or whatever, and I don't know if that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it, child. She go there. She asking everybody, you know, if they seen, you know, this girl and stuff like that. Nobody says, or everybody say no, whatever. She gets to Ronnie. She asks Ronnie. He was like, yeah, I saw her. She was waiting for the bus. And she was like, well, did she get on the bus? He was like, I don't know. But if I see something or hear something, I'll let you know. So he gets up to walk away. She was like, look, I know who you are, man. I know who you are. Did I find out you did something to my daughter and stuff? She started going after Ronnie. His friends like pulled her back and she fall down. So she get the pepper spray and start, you know, holding it out and stuff. She was like, look, you better tell me something. Where my daughter's phone at? I'm not leaving here until I get her phone. It's a pink phone and whatever. So then he remembers that one of the homeless guys was trying to give them phones and stuff. So he like, Pete, you got a phone, like a pink phone or something like that. Pete like, no, I ain't got no phone, man. Get the beep out of here. So he goes to throw Pete out of his tent. Child, everybody like, Ronnie, come on in, Ronnie, that wasn't fair. Like, what you doing? He found the phone. The phone is jacked up. Like, it is busted up. Like, gone. So he like, here you go. I found it. And she get the phone and she like, if I find out you did something to my daughter, I'm coming back here to kill you. So then she leave. The homeless community, they about to throw him out because you know they stick together. And they like, that wasn't good, cool, that what you did, Ronnie, or whatever. So he not the fan favorite no more. They at Sonny's. Emmett then took Dominique to Sonny's and stuff like that. You know, it's closed for the night. And she all enamored about the whole the machines and stuff like that, and he wants to set up shop there at night when Sonny's closes. And she was like, look, I ain't trying to work no night shift and stuff. He give this whole motivational speech and whatnot, and then she was like, all right, I'm in for the money or whatever. So they going, you know, hit up the people leaving the strip club, hit up the people leaving the club, hit up the people who work the night shift. It's like, look, that's lucrative because when you work night shift and everything else closed and you hungry, they gonna reckon some money. Go, especially in the hospitals, child. Next we see them, we back at Kevin and Keisha's house. The mama talking to the cop, the woman cop, she came back or whatever like that, and she giving her the information, the broken phone and stuff. She is distraught, okay? We see Kevin, Papa, and Jake roll up on their bikes to this house. Of course, it's the house on 63rd Street or whatever. Kevin go banging on the door. The dude coming to the door, he looking like, what you want? So then Kevin was like, is my sister in there? And he was like, no, she ain't in here. And he was like, how I know you telling the truth? You lying? So he tried to bum rush in the door. The dude, he like pushing back and stuff. And then Kevin like, well, I ain't leaving here till you get my sister or some shit like that. He put the gun up to his head. Kevin like, that's supposed to scare me? Here go Papa. Well, it sure is scaring the hell out of me. He's like, shut up, Papa. And so he was just like, I'm not leaving until I see my sister or whatever like that. And the dude just has the gun up to Kevin's head and then it go off. I said, God damn, that's how y'all gonna end it? Y'all wrong for that. So next week, I haven't seen the previews or anything like that. I'll try to catch it and see. But so far, so good. This season is doing very well. I pray to God Keisha don't end up dead or whatever. But Fingers crossed. But y'all know sometimes they be killing people off just to make a statement. So we'll see. I done gave y'all a very good, like a long ass video. I do apologize. Y'all know I can start going and whatever. But at any rate, I'm going to shut up right now because it's almost at 40 minutes. But y'all, click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to my channel. And then hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. Alright, y'all. Until next time. Peace.